The Braves' three-game winning streak came to an end tonight against the YD Red Sox. It's episode number 17 of Tomahawk Talk. I'm Michael Stern, that's Troy Lynch, and this fellow over here is Kyle Kercheval. Guys, it was a rough night for the Bourne Braves tonight. They didn't manage much by way of offense. Kyle, they got a couple of big knocks, but weren't exactly able to cash in against Will Gattis, a talented pitcher from Furman.
Yeah, and I think you have to credit Gattis with a lot of that. One thing he was really doing tonight, not only was he pounding the zone, but the first pitch strikes on off-speed pitches were in abundance tonight. And whenever you can set a hitter off-speed with your first pitch, that kind of just changes up the course of the rest of your at-bat. You don't really know what to expect. And whenever a guy like Gattis is pounding the zone with those off-speed pitches, you're always looking for one. And when you don't get it, it makes a fastball much harder to hit. And it just really messes up your whole at-bat. So a lot of credit to him tonight. Pitched fantastic. And also the YD defense was fantastic. We saw a couple diving plays. We saw a couple just overall great solid outings by those defensive players. So all the credit to YD, but the Bourne Braves, they I think give much to sweat about tonight.
The Red Sox pitching was fantastic, and Troy, their offense got just enough to win tonight. 4 runs against the Braves pitching staff, which started with Brady Miller.
Yeah, and Brady Miller, he actually pitched a pretty solid game. He only gave up 3 runs, and he pitched around 5 innings, so not a bad outing for his second start. And what was his next start? That was June 14th, so he had like 15 days in between starts. So you got to give it up to Brady Miller. He did a good job. He's coming out of a Division II school. His first start against Katuitt, yeah, they only won. Now it's 3 games, so good job for Katuitt, but that was a team that didn't have as many big-name players as they do now. So Brady Miller, he was kind of welcomed with some, hey, how you doing? You haven't met me yet, so I'm going to hit off of you type situations. So that was kind of how it went for Brady Miller, but he still struck out a good amount of players. And then after that, the relief pitchers, they did a pretty good job for the Bourne Braves.
The offense was quiet for the Braves in their 4-1 loss. The pitching, pretty good, but not good enough on this night. Kyle, you talked to one of the few men that were able to notch a hit off of Will Gattis, Justin Yurchak.
The Braves saw their 3-game win streak snap tonight here in Bourne against the Red Sox and only had 4 hits on the game. However, one of those coming from Justin Yurchak. Justin, what was really the problem out there for the bats tonight?
They had a great pitcher out there. He was commanding 4 pitches, which makes it tough on every hitter. So he kept the pitch count low and kept commanding the zone, and it made him very effective tonight.
With the exception of tonight, you've got 7 multi-hit games in your last 10. It's really been a good stretch for you. Like I said, discarding tonight, what's been working well for you at the plate?
There's just been a lot of guys on base for me in recent games, and it opens up a lot of holes for me, and then I just try and put good wood on it.
Now you've got your 3rd off day of the season tomorrow. I know it's never fun to go into one after a loss, but do you have any plans?
I have a final for my class on Friday, so a lot of studying tomorrow.
Sounds like a lot of fun, Justin. Thank you for joining me. I'll send it back to Tomahawk Talk.
That was Kyle with Justin Yurchak, and now we're back here on Tomahawk Talk. Time for some players of the game. Kyle, you just had a stellar interview, so we'll start with you here on players of the game. Who do you have tonight in a 4-1 victory for the YD Red Sox against the Bourne Braves?
I'm going to go with one of the only bright spots in the offense tonight, Willie Yan, coming away with the only RBI for Bourne. He's struggled a bit over the course of his last few games. Obviously, we know everything about the double plays that he's really been struggling with, but now he's kind of finding him spot around that 6 and 7 hole in the lineup, and I think for the most part he's taking advantage of that. The guy hits the ball hard every time he's up there. He doesn't doink anything around. He's always up there putting the barrel on the ball, and he got the barrel on the ball. He got that done tonight, and was able to come away with the RBI. So it was not a lot of offense happening all around, but Yan came away with something, so he'll get my player of the game.
Willie Yan, the only RBI hit for the Braves as they avoid being shut out and losing in a 9-inning game for the first time since June the 13th of 2015, a game that was also against these very same YD Red Sox. Troy, who's your player of the game?
I'm going to go with the guy who should have had that complete game. It's Will Gattis from Furman University, and he was the starting pitcher for the YD Red Sox tonight. Through 8 innings, and he only gave up 3 hits, didn't allow any runs, and he also had 5 strikeouts to go along with that. He held the Braves to a very minimum amount of offensive prowess that we are normally used to seeing from the Bourne Braves, but you got to give it up to him. He threw strikes where the Bourne Braves just don't like to swing the ball, and we know how aggressive that the Bravos can really be, and we've seen that with so many 10-plus hitting performances in this year. However, only 4 hits tonight, and 3 of them coming off of the arm of Gattis, so I got to give it up to him from Furman University, a lower level Division I school, but boy, he came out and proved everybody wrong tonight.
Troy going with Will Gattis. Kyle went with Will E. Jan. My player of the game is not a Will, but he had the will to win tonight. That's Tyler Houston, a former Brave, coming up big again. How many times was he a player of the game when he was on the Braves? Because he's been a player of the game twice since joining the YD Red Sox. Tyler, another great game, 3 for 5, a leadoff double, which really set the tone. A couple of hits, he scored a run, he drove in a run. All around good night for Tyler and his new team. The YD Red Sox are able to knock off the Braves tonight, 4-1 here at Bourne Park. Bourne falls to 10-6-1 on the season. They'll play their 18th game of the campaign Friday after a day off when they'll welcome the Falmouth Commodores here to Doran Park. We'll see you then. For my partners Kyle Kercheval and Troy Lynch, I'm Michael Stern, and that concludes the 17th edition of Tomahawk Talk.